It was no, it was exciting. It was exciting to finally put it out there. It was exciting to feel the energy of the room with a big audience. It was exciting to and surprising to see when and where people react, when people laughed, when they gasped, and yeah, it was an experience.
Yeah. My favorite film writer, Karina Longworth, I think is sort of involved, but also she tweeted that this is gonna do, it's what Fatal Attraction did for the late 80s, like Fair Play does for the 2020s. And
that's what she said?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
I wonder if you guys could talk a little bit about sort of just like re-entering this erotic corporate thriller and just like what it says about gender dynamics.
Well, I would say my intention wasn't to, I didn't set out to make an erotic thriller, but I did set out to make a thriller about gender power dynamics within a relationship that happens to be highly sexual. And I think the execution of that intention ended up flipping the erotic thriller genre on its head in many ways.
What did you guys sort of latch onto about Luke and Emily?
Yeah, I guess I when I first read the script, I saw Emily and myself and a lot of women that I know. How she navigates work life and in a very male-dominated industry, and how she navigates her relationship, and in many ways has to make herself smaller in order to make other people feel comfortable. So I could relate to that, and I just was really excited to bring that onto the screen.
I thought that Chloe had written something that felt so personal and so kind of thorough and connected to the depths of who these characters were in a really detailed and specific and kind of psychologically believable way. And so when you have writing that's like that, it just makes it really fun. You feel like the writer has really investigated and lived through it before you have, and it makes it a lot more fun to do. Yeah.
I'm wondering, do you think Luke sees himself, because I think he sees himself as like an ally and like a supporter of like a feminist man, and then things sort of like take a turn, maybe even unexpectedly to him. I always wonder if like gaslighters know they're gaslighters, or whatever. I don't know. I mean, how did you sort of manage that?
Yeah, I think that he is not. I think he's a little at a remove from the rest of the office, and like he's not quite at the beginning of the film in that boys' club doing that stuff. I don't know. So I think that one of the things that I really liked about the movie that I think sometimes is lacking from stories that take on issues like this is understanding kind of the background and the system and the culture that all of that is taking place in. It's not on one individual being sort of a good person or a bad person, that we're all highly influenceable by our environment and the ambitions that we have within that environment. And so Luke looks up to these people and wants to make a certain name for himself, and then is, I think, surprised by a lot that happens.
Phoebe, did you ever find yourself like sort of on Luke's side like sometimes, or were you?
Reading the script and shooting it, no, I was very much on Emily's side, and very much so. And interestingly, seeing it for the first time, what Alden brought to Luke was a real. I kind of saw it more as him and her being a culprit of the society and a victim of the society, as opposed to like anyone was a baddie or a goodie, I definitely, there's definitely different ways to explore it, which I think is the brilliance of Chloe's writing.
Chloe, I know you have background on Billions too, and shows like Succession and Margin Call, and what do you think is so endlessly appealing about this sort of like the high finance hedge fund corporate world that is so cinematic?
Yeah, I mean, my interest in that world starts from Wall Street and Working Girl and like those movies, but for me it's the stakes. It's just you have high stakes, that's drama. So you start there. But also I felt like that work environment, the highs and lows that you experience on any given day, you make money one day, you lose money the next day. You don't live in the middle. You're either living on a high and you think you're the shit, or the next day you think you're a worthless piece of shit. And there's what that does to a person, the fluctuating between those highs and lows. I relate to that in the film industry, and it's just like that's how it is. Like when you're writing and working on shows and whatever, it's like you're either up here or you're down here, and you don't live in the middle. So I felt like I could organically write that because I related to what that environment does to a person.
We did a week of rehearsal, or a few days of rehearsal, that I thought were really valuable, and so rare you get to do that, but it makes such a huge difference, especially in a movie like this where you have two people who've been together, and so much of the movie is their relationship and the intimate details of that. So we did like some backstory improvisations of her first day in the office, and I think the first time we said I love you to each other.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
And it really felt like it really kind of locked something in, and I've always just think that that's a magical thing that is worth fighting for on almost every movie, especially any movie that deals with a relationship of any kind. So yeah.
And I know it happened really quickly too. I mean, when you guys find out you're gonna work together, like, do you go binge Alden's movies? Do you go watch Bridgerton?
That's
like,
what I did.
Yeah.
I just binged to prepare for this role. I binged all of Alden's films.
It was embarrassing for me, but it's what she needed.
That's great.
No, it did happen quickly. I feel so lucky that we were able to establish, like, I think quite quickly, all three of us kind of knew. I mean, I don't think we had in-depth conversations, but I think we all knew what the story was we wanted to tell, and our own experiences within it. So we established like a really great working team very quickly, and the rehearsals really helped in just like creating a very safe environment for us to kind of do kind of very unsafe things. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I felt like, well, in the case of Phoebe, I felt like had a really great thing from the beginning, and I really think she's a wonderful actress, and it was really nice. And then Chloe and I come from we went to the same college, and we didn't know each other, but we come from kind of the same age and come from a similar world.
Yeah.
So what this was about, what the finance world was standing in for, what these kind of people are like, it just was really nice to work with a peer in that sense, because there was a kind of shorthand very easily, without really talking about it, of what the idiom of it was, so to speak.
That's great. I know, and both of you guys, it just shows a whole new dimension of you as actors too. I mean, was that sort of fun getting to just sort of delve into that?
So fun. Yeah, it was. And Chloe is such a phenomenal director, and was always like pushing us to go further and further, which is such a thrill as an actor, and we both felt really safe to do so. So yeah, I definitely feel like we were able to really explore these characters as much as we possibly could. Yeah.
And I know you can't control when movies are coming out, but like you have a huge 2023. I mean, Cocaine Bear, Free, Oppenheimer, which I saw the IMAX trailer for, and it's amazing.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
I mean, how does it sort of like I feel like people want to craft a narrative around like you coming back into film in a big way. Like, how does that feel from your perspective?
Yeah, let them do it. It feels really nice, I didn't work during sort of pre-vaccine era of the pandemic, and then I did Cocaine Bear, and it was so nice. It was the first time I'd done a job that was like less than 9 months in a while, and so I had such a great time doing that and doing a film and working with a director and all the things that it was really fun, and then I read this when I was doing that, and then was very lucky to be able to go do a bunch of other things that were all really great experiences, all really wonderful. Yeah.